welcome to those of you if you guys are new to my channel. So today's a little Q&A on my divorce. And so I don't want it to be too long, so let's just get started with the questions. So I wrote down the questions on these flash note card things just because of the fact that I use my phone for my camera right now. I haven't really looked into getting a camera yet, so bear with me. So first question is, whose decision was it? Okay, so let me tell you guys. So whose decision was it? So there was multiple times that we've actually split up, but I think it might have been like 3 or 4 times that we might have split up. But there was one that we obviously it was like where we actually filed for divorce, and that was actually his call. And it was his call because he said he wasn't happy. It kind of got me. I was confused because at that time I was happy with it and I thought we were good because it literally happened from like one day to the next where he was just like, you know what, I'm not happy with it and I want you to move back to your mom's house. And so I was like, okay. And so I was just kind of really confused on what happened. And obviously, anybody in any situation where they don't really communicate with you with what's going on, you're just kind of confused on like, okay, well, what happened? Or you start thinking like, what did I do wrong? And stuff like that. And you're just like, I don't understand. And so that's how I was. I was really confused at the time. And I was just honestly just trying to do anything I could to get him back. And literally, I was just like stuck on how it just happened from like one day to the next. But yeah, that's that question. I don't want to drag it. It said, how old were you when you got married? When we got married, I was 21. And I think he was like 24 maybe. I honestly forgot. Yeah, I think he was 24. We're like 3 years apart if I'm doing my math right. But I was 21. Next question is, how is co-parenting now? Co-parenting is actually pretty good, I gotta say. We're I think we're doing good. We did have a little miscommunications at first, and I would get mad because we weren't really communicating that good. And I'm really upfront. I like to keep things just real and honest. So if something bugs me, I'm gonna tell you. And so I would just tell him like, hey, like, we're not communicating right. Like, we need, like, I just think we're just grown and we don't need pettiness when there's kids involved. Like, you can't do that. It's not like things aren't gonna be smooth if you're not communicating with mom and dad. You know what I mean? Like, you just gotta like be upfront and be like, yo, I don't like this. Yo, I don't know. There just needs to be really good communication. And so that's a big thing for me because I feel like a lot of relationships don't know how to do that. And I know that was a factor in our relationship where one of us really didn't communicate that good. And honestly, it was on my nerves because I know that I would repeat it constantly. Like, can you communicate this with me? And I'm not saying it was just me because I remember him saying, like, I wouldn't communicate with some things with him. But when I didn't like something, I honestly would tell him, like, yo, I need you to fix this. I don't like this. Like, I'm just really upfront. So like he knows the things that he either needed to work on, or you know what I'm saying. Um, but co-parenting, it is going good. I just honestly think that anyone can do it if there's good communication, just communicating with one another. Like it's not that big a deal to get across through somebody, just communicating good. Um, I'm not like, if there's days where he can't see them or something like that, or something comes up, I'm like, cool. Like I'm not that type of girl to be like, no, F it. Like, it's your day. You gotta do it. Like, dude, it's life. Like, you can just learn to come around stuff like that. So that's co parenting. Was it hard? Um, yes, it was hard. Um, when we were actually going through the divorce, yes, it was hard because, like I said, it wasn't my decision. Um, I really, really like had all my feelings towards him. So, yes, it was hard. And then turned out like the whole time we were in our marriage, like I never got pregnant. And so I was like, when I was knowing like I had moved out already and I was like, okay, we're getting divorced, I was like, well, the good thing is we didn't have no kids. And so tell me why me and like two other friends, we got an apartment. And so we were getting things, but hold on. It already happened when me and him, when like I was moving my stuff out. I didn't feel good, and I was like, man, like, I need to go to the doctor. Like, I've been stretching this out too long. Like, I need to go see what the heck is going on. So I go to the doctor, and they're like, oh, you just have like a urine infection. You just got to take these medications and you'll be straight. So I was like, all right. So then here I am taking these meds. And I'm like, and I hate taking medicine because I just feel like it'll just go away on its own, like any sickness or whatever. Um, so I was taking these pills for like a minute, and I'm like, okay, nothing's changed. I still feel the same. I'm like, nah, I'm done taking them. So then when me and the roommates got the place, I was like, dude, like every time you cook, like it's just not, I'm not feeling it. And so my roommate was like, dude, what if you're pregnant? And I was like, dude, I was like, don't even say it. And I was like, nah. And so then she's like, yeah, I'm gonna buy you a pregnancy test. And I was like, no, you're not. And she like really tried to kill my vibe because I had invited like my cousins and some friends over to the apartment. So I was like, girl, we about to get lit. And you're gonna tell me you're gonna buy me a pregnancy test? And so I'm like, nah. And so soon enough, tell me why my roommate comes home and she had the pregnancy test. And so here I am, pregnant. And I didn't even get to like drink or nothing when I had my cousins over. So I was like, man, that killed the whole vibe. And I don't know. So that was me going through the pregnancy alone, and at the same time I was just going through like numerous things. I was going through my divorce, I was finishing up cosmetology school, um, and I had found out I was pregnant, and I was like, dang. And then I was just like, okay. So i I had went through like my whole pregnancy alone. I mean, technically not, well, yeah, alone. I didn't have like, I wasn't dating no one because I was so stuck on him, and like being stuck on like how I was still trying to figure out like what happened or what wasn't I doing right to for our marriage not to work out. And At the time, I was hanging out with some friends. They were always there for me when I was going through my divorce. And even when I was pregnant, they were like, not like my baby daddy, but they had it as a joke, as in like they were my baby daddies, because they would, every time I would go and hang out with them, they would be like, "Oh, so what are you craving? Oh, what are we gonna eat this time? What are you craving?" And so they would always get what I was craving, and I was like, "Aw." So those were my boys, man, and I feel bad because I haven't even hung out with them in a minute, but yeah. So they were there for me, and it was just like the point of like, I'm like, man, I'm 21 and I'm going through a divorce. Like, what is life really? But I went through like a whole year just trying to keep pushing it and like fixing it and getting back and getting back. And obviously, it was just like rejection, 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 and rejection. So I'm like, okay, I get it. So then here comes December, and I went to Mexico. I went for like a month, and I was like, yeah, this is needed. um, and then when we were down there, oh my goodness, like I actually did good though. And I think it's just like literally from all of the rejection that I had, and like it was just like a lot. But when we were down there, this man, he had a girlfriend, and people came up to me and was like, "Hey, do you know that he has a girlfriend?" And I was like, "Mm." And honestly, I thought I was gonna be that crazy girl. Like, hold on. Like, no, like, what? So obviously you left me because you were already talking to somebody. But no, that wasn't the case. I did good. Like I said, I seen them together one time or maybe two times, but I didn't trip. I wasn't crazy. I was like, like this is part of life. Like once you separate, obviously they're gonna be with someone else. It's not like they're just gonna be like, no, that person's not touchable. Like get over it. But yeah, he had a girlfriend, and I was like, I thought I was gonna be tripping, but I didn't, and I did good. So I was like, it is what it is. That's cool. Um, but I mean, when I was down there, there was actually someone too that was trying to get with me, but I was really honest with him and was like, this isn't, I'm really not over him. And I was like, and I don't think it's the right timing for me to be in a relationship right now. And he was like, no, yeah, I get it. But then towards like the end, then me and him kind of started dating, and I was like, I'm actually over this whole situation. And he helped me get over that. And so I was like, I'm literally over like my ex. And I was like, I never thought I was going to get over it, just because honestly, I just went through like so much stuff, and it was just like, how do you get over something like that, But with all that time that I took, I honestly like got over it, and it helped me so much in the long run, because when I was in the relationship, I think I just was too sensitive, and I was that girlfriend that was like, bitch, like you need to chill out. Like I was that crazy girl. Like, why don't we ever hang out? Like, can we just lay together? Like, I was that girl. I was that wife. I should say I wasn't that girlfriend, but I was that wife where I wanted to be everywhere with him. I wanted to know everything. And, that's just not healthy in relationships. And so I was just like, no, that's not okay. But I overcame all of that, and um, I think it made us like I got back from Mexico, we had actually, I ended up leaving that guy I was dating because my ex was like, oh, we should give it another shot. And I was like, I don't know. Like, I just got all my feelings out of you. Like, all my feelings for you were just like out. Like, I was numb because he did so much damage to me. And then now, just because you see me with someone else, you want to come back in? Like, but since we had our son, I was like, okay, I'm going to give it a shot. I want to give it another shot. But I just feel like when we did get back together, I did fix all the things that he didn't like about me or that I wasn't doing as a wife. And I feel like I did all those changes, but I don't know, it just wasn't enough, obviously, because we're not together again. Um, but it was really hard for me, but I overcame it, and I feel like anyone can overcome a divorce. But enough of that question. Sorry, I dragged it a little bit. Next question is, did you try? Um, yes, I did try. Obviously, I mean, I didn't try when he left me, but because of the same thing I come to again. He never communicated with me, and I feel like he just never cared to communicate about it to me because he just left me from one day to the next. Instead of him communicating to me like, hey, I don't like that you're not doing the things that obviously he wasn't happy with. Like, he never came up to me and told me any of those things. So that's why I was so confused on, like, damn, like, you just leaving me like that. But I mean, it is what it is. It already happened. But I did try after when I got back from Mexico, like when we got back together there, like I said, I was doing all the things he wanted. I was like, boom, I was up there. I was doing it all. But obviously it wasn't good enough. Um I was I did try doing all of those things because, like I said, I would then, like, I stopped being that crazy girl. Like, I wasn't being like all over him. Like, obviously I was like, those are things he doesn't like, so I wasn't being like all lovey-dovey with him. I wasn't I guess you should just say I was the opposite of what I was, of being crazy. I control myself more on that, and I was just like, like, we're married, like, we're not going nowhere, so I don't have to be like this psycho girlfriend, even though we're married. But we don't have to be these. I don't have to be that crazy girl. Like, he's gonna. There's a time and place for everything, but yeah, I did try on that aspect. I just feel like he didn't try then. Like, okay, I fixed all of my stuff, but I just feel like he never changed. And I mean, he told me flat out too, like, I never planned on changing. And I was like, oh no. So you wanted me to fix everything, but you're not going to take the time and change things. And like I told you, I'm so upfront. Like, I would tell him all the time on things like so many things, like, why can't you communicate with me? And like, why can't you tell me when you don't like something? Or stuff like that. Or sometimes I'll be like, how do I look today? And he's like, I don't know, like how you always do. And I'm like, well, how is that? You know what I mean? And sometimes I feel like sometimes I be doing too much, and for nothing. But yeah, I feel like I did try. And I mean, I obviously tried for our kids too, but I just feel like, I don't know. I just feel like I was in the motions. It wasn't getting anywhere. Next question is, are you still happy with your decision? Yes, I am happy with my decision. I'm happy with my decision. Um, well, his decision, because I know it's kind of confusing. It's because when we went through our divorce, it was his decision, and I filed for the divorce. Um, and that was back in like 2014. And now this decision in 2019 was my decision, and yes, I am happy with it, just because when I went through the divorce in 2014, it like when I got over it, I realized on how much it made me better as a person. Seeing me like, damn, like you were crazy. And if I would have never went through that divorce, like I would have never noticed like all of the defects in me that I had, and it made me change it by going through that divorce, and it made me fix a lot of the stuff that I had, and made me realize in a lot of stuff that I was like, wow, like I was really sensitive. Like if anybody yelled at me, I would cry. Or if he would yell at me, I would cry. And now I'm just like, I just feel so much stronger as a person. Like my line used to be like, who needs a man? Because I'm telling you, I would cut the grass, mow the clean the snow, washing out my car. Like I don't rely on nobody no more. Like, and no women should rely on a man, honestly. Like, married or not married, like, girl, you can clean your own car. Why are you gonna have your guy be like, damn, like, you just want me to clean it? Or, for them to throw something at your face like that, like, hold on, homie, like, nah. Like, I can do it. I can do anything you can, but just hold on, nah. All things, there is some things where I don't do, but I try to do mostly everything, just because of the fact that that's just how I am, honestly. I think I got that from my dad, because I just be learning everything from my dad. My dad be trying to do the most, and so I'm like, you know what, I can do this. So yeah, I am happy, just because it made me better as a person and a stronger person. And not to be relying on nobody, and to also take care of you as a woman, making sure that you're good. And I'm not saying to be selfish either, but you should take care of your body. You should look good. You should maintain how you were when you were single, because you know what I'm saying? That's why some guys, even though they're with their girls, they be looking like, damn, who's that? And you know what I mean? And I be noticing, because I noticed it when my ex was doing it, and I was like, hold on. I was like, and I would bust them out too, like, hold on, what you looking at? I'm that girl. Well, I was. But yeah, that's why I'm telling you guys, though, take care of yourself, because I'm telling you, I would be like, man, I don't give a fuck, like I'm married. But no, you should maintain getting yourself ready, watching your weight, just look good, take care of yourself, like don't be relying on your man to be doing everything, because then they're gonna try and throw it at your face or something. Like, no, homie, hold on. Nope. Like, I do some stuff too. But yes, so that was that question. And then it says, how many kids did I have? So I have 3 kids, but when I was going through my divorce, I only had one. And I think that was really hard, just because I didn't have, like I said, that person there with me. And then when we were in the delivery room, like that just was, it was kind of awkward. And then, like, to top it off, the day that I went to the hospital, this man was drunk because he was at a freaking baile. So I'm like, oh man. Um, but it was just like a lot. Like we actually went through I think that's why we were arguing a lot too, is because of how we actually had our son. And it just made things a little bit more complicated. Um, and there was child support involved. And I'm going to tell you something. I am not the one to go through the court system just because of this. Look it. So I didn't want to do child support when we had him. And I was like, look, if I really cannot do, like, cannot buy him something, like, I'll reach out to you and I'll be like, hey, can you go and buy this? And he was like, no, you know what, just go to the court, go put me on child support. So I was like, no, like, can't we do something else? And he was like, no, just go to the court and do it. Like, that's it. So I was like, I was like, you don't gotta tell me twice then. I was like, let's go. So here we go. I filled out all the paperwork because it came actually with a divorce packet. And so we filled it out and we went to the courthouse together. And he was like, the lady's like, okay, we just have one other question. And I was like, all right. And she was like, well, there's two amounts you can do for child support. You can either do this smaller amount or you can do this bigger amount. What did you want to do? So here's my my baby daddy. He's like looking at me like, you're about to do that smaller amount, right? And I'm like, we're going to do the full amount. Just because, first of all, wasn't even trying to come down to the courthouse. So I was like, you know what? We gonna do the big amount. And he like was like, this bitch. And yeah, so that was that. But this time around, now that we have the three kids, like honestly, I think I'm the only female. I mean, maybe there's some out there, I just don't know y'all. But I think I'm the only one. I just don't want to, like, this time around, I was like, I don't want to do child support. And I know a lot of people are like, this bitch is stupid. But no, like, I honestly feel that child support should be for, like, people that just honestly cannot afford doing it on your own. Like, if you're financially stable, good, and you can afford to buy your kids stuff, then I don't feel like there's a need for child support, because everyone else just goes and gets their nails done, goes and buys themselves like the mom thinks it's money for you. Like, no, girl. And so like when I did child support the first time, man, I was like buying my kid like expensive shit. I was like going all out for him. I was like, yup, like my baby's about to be spoiled. And this time I'm just like, I don't want to do it just because, like I said, I feel like we're good. Our co-parenting is good. He helps me out with them. And I just don't feel like there's a need in, buying stuff. Like, I buy stuff, he buys stuff. Like, we're good. Like, there's no need for the child support. Like, if he's buying stuff, I'm buying stuff. He's paying for stuff. I'm paying for like, we're good. You know what I'm saying? Like, a bunch of these moms just be like, oh, I want the child support just so like they can go buy all this extra shit. Like, you don't even need all that extra stuff. Or, you know what I mean? Like, if you got money to go buy makeup, to go out, to be buying all this extra stuff, like, why do you need child support? Like, instead of buying the makeup, you can be buying your kids stuff. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the times, like, a whole bunch of moms just do it to be petty. Like, this nigga ain't about to be going to spend money on the new girlfriend. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know how women be. They be petty as heck. And I'm like, dude, like, he ain't gonna stay with you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just have so much on child support with some females because they just be doing the most and they just do it for petty reasons. But that's just me. Some women. So sorry about that. Did we try counseling? No, we did not try counseling just because we're Mexican. But no, I'm just kidding. I honestly see this is where we come in again. Like I tried. I wanted to do counseling. I was like, why don't we try it? I mean, it'll be something different, maybe something fun. I don't know. But he was like, no, like I don't want other people all up in my business. Mexicans, they don't want people all up in their business, but it's like, dude, it's just to try it. And he was like, no, I don't want people in my business. And I was like, okay, that idea's out the window. So that's why I was like, he don't even care about me, because he wasn't trying to do anything to like fix it. And so I was like, but okay, that's cool. Um, we just won't do counseling, and we didn't have no help or nothing. But that's why we're in the predicament that we're in now. But whatever. Next question is, what is your best advice for those just beginning the divorce process? Woo! For those of you going through a divorce, a breakup, wanting to get into a breakup or divorce, my advice is to look at the things that you're not happy with, but I want you to actually realize, did you communicate those situations to your significant other? Because, like I said, my significant other was not communicating issues with me. I was communicating issues with him, but he wasn't communicating them with me. So I feel like that's where we like fucked up. But honestly, even in this relationship before we separated, I was like, are you happy? Like, are we good? And he'll be like, yeah, I'm happy. And it's like, okay. But I just think like communication is really big. People be thinking it's a joke, but I think honestly, communication in life with anything is a big deal. And so I just think communicating issues with your significant other is a big deal. Now, I feel like if there is um, abuse or anything like that in the relationship, y'all just need to get the fuck out, because honestly, like that's not gonna get you nowhere. And that obviously means that y'all don't even need to be together, because once that happens, like it's never gonna be okay. Like that is gonna be like a repeated thing all the time. And who wants to live like that? Not me. But I never went through that, honestly. Um, but that is what I think on that. I just think if you got your man on child support and he's with you, like that's not, you're still not going to be happy, because there's still going to be problems there, you know what I mean? And it's just not the best thing in life to just have him on child support, because or to be together, and you know what I mean? um Things to help you get over it, I think, is honestly just giving yourself time. Like don't rush into being in another relationship, because that's not the case either. I just think giving yourself time, but keeping you busy. And if you got kids, still take care of your kids good and not rush into another relationship, because I feel like that's not good for your kids. I think it's a good time for you to just be with your kids, and you getting over it with your kids. I honestly feel like those are your best friends, because they're my best friends. They're my kids. They're like my Tiago. He's been through there with me since my first divorce, so he's my homie. um, but I just honestly think that it's a time for you to keep busy, because when I was going through my divorce, when I was going through that hard time, I honestly was keeping busy. I think like literally I had a normal job, so I was working just Monday through Friday. I had weekends off. So literally I was out every day. I was keeping busy. I was like, if I'm at home, I'm just gonna honestly keep thinking about it and keep thinking about the situation and thinking like, what didn't I do right? What could I have done better to fix my relationship? And that's what kills you. Like when I was in Mexico, oof, I was good because I was like, I'm not thinking about nothing. I was good. But I got over it. And so that's my advice on that, is just keeping yourself busy. And honestly, like, if I can get over it, I know any of you guys can get over it, because I was honestly like, no, like, this is all I know. Like, no, that is not all you know. You can get over it. There is a happy side to it, because I found it, and I was just so happy, like, once I was over it, because I didn't have nobody there with me, like, telling me, hey, you're gonna be good, like, you're fine, like. And I wish I did, and that's the whole reason why I did this video, is because I know, like, there's other people going through divorces that may not have a person to give you advice, or maybe not even have, like, that person to be like, or maybe you're just like, I don't want people all up in my business. But honestly, like, sometimes it's good for you to talk to someone about it, because you can kind of, like, desahogarte, like, I don't know how you say that in English, like, like, just get it out. um but I just think, if you're not that type of person to, like, open up to other people, I just think it's good for you to go out, because you just don't want too many people in the business, and then they, people gossip and spread it, and then they say one thing, and then it's another, and then, yeah, you know how that is. But it's just honestly, like, you'll get there with time. And honestly, like I said, for me, it made things in a good, positive way, because it made me realize that I was a crazy person, and now I'm a better person. And it made me stronger, and realize not to rely on nobody, and always just give you self-care, because you never know, like, what's honestly going to happen, and you need to know how to handle and take care of your family together with your significant other, or by yourself, because once they're not there, you're like, what do I do? Like, what is life without another person? But honestly, like, it's fine. And when you be watching Teen Mom and stuff, they're like, oh my god, life is so hard without your boyfriend. Like, you gotta do everything as a single mom. You gotta take care of the kids. Like, you're literally doing everything. No crap. But honestly, married or not married, we do the same thing. So please tell me what's different from being a single mom to being a mom that's married. Nothing. Because we're doing everything with the kids. Like, yay, they might help you here and there, but at the end of the day, like, you're the one trying to find daycare. You're the one trying to see what school they're going to. Like, we make all the decisions. Like, you ask them to help you, and you're like, hello, and they just be looking at you like, you do it. Like, so please tell me what's different from being a single mom to being a mom that's married. I just told you. So there's nothing. So don't let somebody tell you, like, no, it's because being a single mom is so hard. Like, no. It's the same thing as being in a marriage. Like, you're still doing everything. The only thing different is you have someone by your side that you're either happy with or you're not happy with. So it is what it is, I guess. But anything else, if you guys have any other advice you guys want, or questions, go ahead and DM me, or comment below if you guys want to be open like me, because I don't really care. I'll be really open. I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing, but I just honestly like to keep things real with with life, because I feel like if you're fake, it just makes things a little more complicated. But yeah, that's my Q&A on my divorce. I hope it helps people that are going through the divorce, because I honestly feel like I'm in a better place. But yeah, so that is my Q&A. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.